On today's video, my son Nick and I went out and did a little bluegill fishing, and we're going to talk a little bit about the bait that we were using and the setup that we were using, and a little bit about the bait management. Hey there, outdoor YouTubers. Well, like I said earlier, my son Nick and I went out and we did a little bluegill fishing. The lilacs are in full bloom, so that usually means that the bluegills here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula are going to be up shallow, either spawning or getting ready to spawn. So we were using the most basic, tried and true method there ever was for catching bluegills: worms and bobbers.
Better spot.
This seems better, huh?
Seems better.
Yeah. Very good.
These bluegill were up shallow, so we could just use a regular clip-on bobber. We didn't need slip bobbers. We didn't need to really get any kind of depth. These fish were just in a couple feet of water, so a normal clip-on bobber is just perfect for that. I kind of prefer these pencil solid type bobbers over the older style round plastic hollow bobbers. Sometimes those round hollow plastic bobbers will actually have a little leak in them, and a little ways into your fishing you start to notice your bobber's not riding up on the surface like it should be. It's kind of starting to sink, and a lot of times that's because there's a little leak and there's water getting into that hollow area. But with these solid types of bobbers, you don't have to worry about leaks. And then a little bit further down below the bobber, I like to add some split shot. I like to add just enough weight so it's not too difficult for the fish to bring that bobber underwater. And then below that, I like to use a number 4 sized Aberdeen hook. A size 4 hook is pretty appropriate for a decent sized bluegill. I like the little bit longer shank, gives you something to grab to get it out of the bluegill's mouth. Those bluegills got that real small mouth, so sometimes it's a little tricky getting them unhooked. So I like to have that little bit of a shaft, a little bit of a handle to grab to get that hook out of their mouth. And then on that hook, we were using worms. Now, it doesn't matter if you pick your own worms or you go down to my buddy Ronnie Camaro's bait shop and get your worms. If you're going to keep these worms long term, you're going to have to take care of them. Now, I always like to have a few worms on hand, so I will keep my worms in a bait refrigerator. So I like to keep all my worms in a small cooler, and then I keep that cooler in my bait refrigerator. But when you go out fishing, that's kind of a pain, right? It's kind of a pain to dig through that cooler just to find a worm. So before I go out fishing, I'll dump that cooler out on a piece of cardboard, and I'll kind of sift through and I'll pick some worms out of there, put them in 1 or 2 containers depending on how many people are fishing. And then when I figure that I've got more than enough for that particular fishing trip, you just kind of fold that cardboard up a little bit and funnel it all right back into that cooler and put it right back in the bait refrigerator. Now on warm days, those small little containers of worms aren't going to last very long. All right, those worms are going to cook inside there. So on a little bit warmer days, I'll take those containers of worms, put them in a different cooler, and add some packs of ice into that cooler, and that keeps everything nice and fresh. Another pretty cool thing about having that dedicated bait refrigerator is you get a few fish in the evening, you're coming home, it's kind of late, really don't feel like cleaning those fish. I'll just bag them up in a plastic bag, put them in that bait refrigerator, and get to them the next day. So yeah, I really like utilizing a bait refrigerator. I get to do all kinds of things with that refrigerator that my wife probably wouldn't allow me to do with the refrigerator in the house. Okay guys, if you're looking for more outdoor Upper Michigan content, be sure to check out the Knetter's Practical Outdoors Patreon page. You can join for free. There's a lot of free content there. Or for more exclusive content, you can become a member. The Knetter's Practical Outdoors Patreon page has all the hunting and fishing stuff that you would expect, but it's actually different than our YouTube channel. At our Patreon page, you'll find throwback pictures of my wife and I, funny stories, and personal perspectives, all focusing on the outdoors. So if you think you might be interested in that sort of content, be sure to check out our Knetter's Practical Outdoors Patreon page. So I definitely wanted to keep a few bluegills that night. I think we wound up keeping 11. We actually threw back some of the real big ones. It's always good to keep a few of those big spawners in the lake, you know, keep the reproductive cycle going.
Shark. Very good.
So guys, if you're interested in more videos about getting out and enjoying the great outdoors of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, be sure to check out the entire channel. And if you enjoy what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. And for bonus content, be sure to check out our Patreon page. A link to this page can be found in the description of this video. And also guys, remember to hunt, fish, laugh, repeat. Thanks for watching, and God bless.